chase Lehigh with the blue futon out of the theaters. I just saw where the Crawdads sings. The Crawdads don't really sing. And I thought that was going to be in Louisiana, but it was North Carolina. So where the Crawdad sings What's About, it's a very simple premise, actually. There's a girl that lives in the marsh. She's been living by herself from about the age of 8 to 25. Even though she's 5 miles near this town vilifies her. And because someone decided to get killed or murdered near that house, it must have been her that did it, because the town just knows there's a marsh girl. Did she do it? Will she find love? Is there a love triangle? What will happen in this 2-hour and 5-minute movie based off a novel? So, did I like this movie? Wouldn't you know, I have never read the book. I read some books, so I'm not really the biggest book reader. So, going in blind, as well as kind of knowing I'd probably be one of the only dudes in the movie theater, which I was. I was probably one of the youngest dudes as well as others. I was surrounded by old ladies. And you know what? I didn't care, because you know what? I kind of had a good time with this movie. No lie, no shame. It kind of reminded me, even though about the same, like, If I Stay kind of vibes of it, about this girl just trying to survive. Is she framed for murder? Did she commit the murder? Who are her love interests? What is this town doing to vilify her? What about her backstory? And so with that, I'll give you the negatives of the movie first. I do feel like this is a little bit too long. I know what they're trying to do with telling her backstory, because there is story from like 1953 to like 1962, 1968, and 1969. So we're telling those different parts of the story. I do wish they focused a little bit more between the 1953 and the 1962, because I was a little bit more interested in her backstory of how she got that way, how is she surviving as a little kid, and getting to know the people that actually took care of her in that time of her life. Because we were doing a lot of flashbacks between like the court scene, what happened in the past, court scene, what happened in the past. So I wish they focused a little bit more on the past, a little bit like that, but that's kind of a small nitpick. Another nitpick would be the ending. Not the actual ending, but it did feel like there was like 3 endings and it turned into The Notebook on some levels, where I'm like, okay, screen went to black and we're continuing. A screen went to black and we're continuing. A screen goes to black and we're continuing. So I'm like, okay, what are we doing? Come on now. What's trying to get to the final conclusion? And I would say the last thing is probably the age difference of what they're doing between 1962 and 1969. Even though that's about a 7-year difference, it feels like it should have been a little bit more robust with looking at the different characters, like a character named Trent, Chase, my name, as well as the main character. I just felt like the makeup or the de-aging or what they're trying to do just didn't match for the total timeline of what they're showing on screen. However, other than those negatives, I kind of enjoyed myself. I enjoyed the mystery. I enjoyed the whodunit aspect, because like I said, I never read the book, so I went in blind. So I was like, okay, there's no way she could have killed that person. It must have been this person because of that red beanie, and because of this person. Oh, but it could have been this person because these people were actually protecting her throughout her life. And so I was like, ooh, who could it be? But could it be one of the family members who decided to come back in the life? And you're like, oh, who's this murder mystery? And just knowing that in the courtroom scene, and kind of like, oh, are they going to be guilty, not guilty? I kind of enjoyed that. It kept me entertained of not knowing what was happening. And the very end, I felt like an idiot. I'm like, how did I not see this? They were literally, feeding me like mantises and doing this and doing this. And at the end, I'm just like, duh. Why did I not see this coming? Because it kind of makes sense of what they're doing. This can be a little bit of a sexual assault movie, so some scenes can be a little graphic. Even though it's PG-13, there is some motions of rape that could be occurring, as well as hitting and punching women in the face, and that is no bueno in my opinion, just in general in life. No. You better protect those women, because that is very wrong if you punch a woman in the face. Just fuck off. Don't ever do that. But in today's day and age, people question what a woman is, and people in Washington, D.C. saying men can get pregnant and give birth. That men can't get pregnant. I can't get pregnant. Anyway, talking about this movie, Like I said, I enjoyed that aspect of getting to know this whodunit kind of thing. Yes, it was a little bit like too, I want to call it too sexual, but it felt like it was like, okay, is this sex scene really needed? Could we, drag it on? Like I said, they wanted more of the sex appeal rather than the backstory. And I think that was a little bit of a negative as well for the movie. So overall, where the Crawdads sings, I went in with no expectation, and I come out saying, I enjoyed myself for what was shown on screen. Good acting. I enjoyed the directing. CGI birds weren't the greatest, but maybe birds aren't really real, and that the movie is saying maybe the government, they're all spies. But like I said, good cinematography in my opinion of knowing the marshland. Good acting, good writing. I enjoyed the black couple that owned the store kind of on the water and had like the small things like the biscuits and the lollipops and the smokes and her giving the muscles too. I love that dynamic. That dynamic in the movie was so good. And at the very end, the only reason I almost cried in this movie is because a very end scene with them in it, or at least one of them in it. Hint, hint, what's going to happen. So I was like, oh, don't cry. Don't cry. Oh, geez. Oh, geez. So anyway, like I said, I enjoyed it as a dude who never read the book. I think you can enjoy it for what it is. So Where the Crawdads Sing will receive a 3.5 out of 5 with Futons, which equals that 70%. So see the critics' news scores gave this one. Holy moly, we have critics, a 34% with 65 of them. Audience score, 93% with over 100. Here's critic consensus. Daisy Edgar-Jones gives it her all, but Where the Crawdads Sings is ultimately unable to distill its source material into a tonally coherent drama. I thought the tone was fine. It was sappy when it needed to be sappy. It had the good message when the good message needed to be shown. It had the assaults when the assaults was there to be like, oh shit, what is happening? And it had enough who done it, like it must have been that person. No, it could have been this person. No, it should have been this person. So I thought it was totally fine for what it was on screen. But however, never read the book, so it might be very different. But if it's 93% for the audience, I feel like most of the audience that are seeing this movie have read the book. So they must like something, and I do think the critics are being a little harsh for this one. So 34, 70, 93. Chase out with the Blue Futon. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think of Futontopia. You Futonians, thanks for watching. Have a great day. And I don't know if I ever had crawdads before. Is it crawdads? Crawfish? Crawdaddies? Which one is it?